Now let's start to examine the concept of ما ملكت أيمانكم, which is whatever your right hand possess. I will just search the word malakat, and here we go. So first of all, the first observation that it is, the word in Arabic is ما ملكت أيمانكم, not من ملكت أيمانكم. There's a big difference. ما ملكت أيمانكم in Arabic means whatever your right hand possess. If we want to say whoever your right hand possess, it will be من ملكت أيمانكم, which is not the case here. So now we can find that it is mentioned 15 times in the Quran. The first time is whoever you can do the انكحوا, which is the marriage contract, which is ما طاب لكم من النساء, whoever you about women who you can get married to, if you cannot be sure that you will be fair between more than one wife, so you will have one, you have to get only one wife, or whatever your right hand possess. We all will notice also that it is either or. It's either marriage, either for one or more than one woman, up to 4, or whatever your right hand possess. You cannot get both. So this understanding that a man can have a wife or 2 or 3 or 4, and on top of that he can have someone as a right hand possession who is basically a female slave. This has nothing to do with Qur'an. This is the sick interpretation of the early Muslims who wanted this kind of interpretation to be able to satisfy their sick needs. This has nothing to do with the Qur'an. This is a very clear contradiction. The other thing is that if you say, okay, so a man can have a sexual relationship with someone outside of the marriage, how about the woman? So a man can basically buy sex from a woman. There is also another verse that says that females also, or women also, can have this access, which is ما ملكت أيمانكم, or whatever your right hand possess. We can find it here in this surah, which is Surah An-Nur, chapter 24, verse 31. And tell the believing women to reduce some of their virgin and guard their private parts, and not expose their adornment except that which necessary appears thereof, and to wrap a portion of their head covers. Of course, head covers, I will have to talk about this later on, because the ayah didn't mention anything about a head cover. But anyways, over their chests, and not so it actually basically this verse is talking about who are the people that women are allowed to show their beauty, or their special beauty in front of, which is basically the father, the people who she cannot get married to. And one of these people is which the right hand possess. It is here. I don't know how can I highlight this for you, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is in the 7th line of the translation. And let's get back to the Arabic verse. Here it is. Here it is أو ما ملكت أيمانهن. أو ما ملكت أيمانهن. So women can have also ما ملكت أيمانهن. So does this mean that a married woman can have a sexual relationship with her male slave? Of course not. This is not allowable in any religion, and especially in Islam, who makes sure that everyone knows his father. This is very important in Islam. People get to know who their father is. So what do we make of the word ما ملكت أيمانكم? Actually, so many of the scholars who who just got rid of all of the stupidity in the Islamic history, and they are only getting the correct Islamic information from the Quran. They call them the Qur'anists, just as a label, because people love to label. They love to make to put names on these who don't look like them or think like them, so that they can say, oh, these are the Qur'anists who say that. Are you a Qur'anist? Well, I am not a Qur'anist, but I believe that the Quran is the one and the only source that we can take Islam from, because every other thing is just history. So let's get back to our topic today. So let's look at this. This is another verse from Al-Nur, chapter 24, I believe. Okay, 24:58. So it's talking about the people, so it talks actually about ليستأذن لكم الذين ملكت أيمانكم. So in this verse, that's why I didn't put ما ملكت أيمانكم. I search only for ملكت. الذين ملكت أيمانكم. الذين, it can be for people, and it can be for inanimate object, but it's very obvious that in this version it's talking about people whom your right hand possess. And it talks about these people plus children who didn't reach puberty yet, that they need not to come into your rooms in three periods of the day. One is before Fajr prayer, which is before sunrise. The other one is حين تضعون ثيابكم من الظهيرة, which is noon time, and من بعد صلاة العشاء. So there are prohibited periods that these people whom your right hand possess, plus the children who didn't reach puberty yet, cannot come into your room unless they take permission first. So what about your brother? Can he just come into your room? Your sister? Your father? Really, I'm not sure about the exact meaning of this, but I think that the Malakat Aymanukum here is that whoever people you have with a contract with them, or okay, you don't possess them with this contract, you don't own them with this contract, but you own their services, their time, whatever. So maybe your employee or the people who are under your care, guardianship, probably. So if the kids became adults, so they can come into your rooms without taking permission, I don't know. But I think this verse is talking about people that cannot, under any circumstances, come into your rooms unless they take permission in these designated periods of the day. So you can see that it is not as simple as, oh, your female slaves that you have during the war. No. Okay, so as we said, that people whom your right hand possess, who are mentioned in this verse in Surah An-Nur, which is chapter 24, verse 58. These people, if they cannot come into your rooms without permission in the periods of the day that you need to be alone, that you need to have some privacy, for sure, these people you cannot have sex with. This is just basic. They are And the same in this issue, they are treated the same as your kids. You don't want your kids to see you in a sexual position, for example. So if you can have sex with your people whom your right hand possess, why would they have to get permission to come into your room? So this verse is actually showing that the fault, this kind of faulty interpretation of this expression, ما ملكت أيمانكم الذين ملكت أيمانكم. Okay, so let's get back to the search results. So there is one of the result, which is this one. Okay, let us see, what does this verse talk about? So يا أيها الذين آمنوا. So this is also another, this is Surah Al-Ahzab. Okay, this is talking to the wives of Prophet Muhammad. And I think it applies to all women that who can come into their homes without any boundaries. Their fathers, their sons, their brothers' sons, their sisters' sons, their women. Their women is another issue. This is a big dilemma that many scholars, they cannot solve. What do you mean by their women? All those their right hands possess. Of course, they interpret it as usual that ما ملكت أيمانهن, or whatever their right hand possess, they interpret it as whoever their right hand possess. This has the same meaning as the one we talked about in a zina, or beauty. Who are the people who are allowed to see the beauty of the woman? They are almost the same people who are allowed inside their homes without boundaries or barriers, or special boundaries or barriers. So as you can see, this whole ما ملكت أيمانكم thing needs to be rethought. I am not a scholar and I am not a very expert in Qur'an, but I believe that the Muslim scholar, quote unquote, they are not they cannot, the interpretation of Qur'an according to Qur'an will never be complete until the end of the days. We do our best to understand Qur'an in light of our modern day life. Qur'an is available and it's suitable for everyone all the time, and it shouldn't be, it shouldn't, the understanding of Qur'an shouldn't be for some people and not